So one question we might ask is whether there can be religious disagreement between epistemic peers. And one of the reasons this question is significant is because of its relationship to another question, namely, whether there can be rational religious disagreement between epistemic peers. So for instance, can two people disagree about, let's say, the existence of God, and yet both be rational in holding their beliefs? Recently, there have been a lot of attempts in the philosophical literature to respond to the question about the rational possibility of religious disagreement by focusing on the question of whether there can even be religious disagreement between epistemic peers. And many people say no, because religious disagreement is the sort of disagreement where if I believe that God exists, for instance, my beliefs might be grounded in a personal relationship that I have with God, whereas the atheist's beliefs might be grounded in some sort of argument, let's say. And if being an epistemic peer with one another requires, let's say, evidential equality, namely that we have roughly the same kind of evidence, then it looks like we can't possibly be epistemic peers. One of the negative conclusions of this approach, in my view, is that it breaks down discussion between people of different religious backgrounds. And one of the aims of my work has been to build bridges between people with disagreements. So in some of my work, I have framed an alternative conception of epistemic peerhood, one that requires not that there be evidential equality, but that the parties to the disagreement be, let's say, equally justified in holding their respective beliefs. And the equal justification can be grounded in different bodies of evidence. So given that, my answer to the question is there can indeed be religious disagreement between epistemic peers, and so we can't respond to the question of whether there can be rational disagreement by just saying there are no epistemic peers when there's religious disagreement.